Today, we're going to talk about MyFitnessPal. We're going to talk about the numbers that go into the calories that it uses for your goals. We're going to demystify the numbers and the formulas because a lot of people are getting confused on how all this is set up and how it works and plays together with each other. I'm going to assume you already got your account set up. I'm not going to show you how to set it up from scratch, so get your account set up and then go into the settings once you have it set up. And then we're going to update diet fitness profile. This section is basically broken up into 4 areas. This area here, current weight, height, gender, date of birth, that's the formula. That's what it uses to generate your basal metabolic rate. What is your basal metabolic rate? Well, your basal metabolic rate is basically, if you were in a coma, that's how many calories you would need to sustain your life, your organs, and all that. Then, once you have the result of that formula, it gets multiplied by your activity level, okay? So you have basically what you require in a coma, okay? Which nobody's walking around in a coma right now. So to figure out what you need to walk around, you get multiplied by an activity, okay? And in this, there are 4 activities: sedentary, lightly active, active, very active. These are just ranges. They're ballpark things for typical people. If you're outside of typical, things could be different. Okay, I think this is going to be the best way to explain these activity levels to you. I built this form. It's nothing really scientific. It's just basically ballparks, but it could help you get in the right activity level if you're not sure and maybe you want a little bit more knowledge on how these activity levels work. Basically, the way I did the form is I created 24 hours down this way, okay, down this column, column A, and then I created basically your energy expenditures going this way. Okay, so starting with the least amount of energy, which you would do in sleep, going all the way up to if you're doing other kinds of activities and sports. Again, nothing scientific, it's just basically me putting these in their categories, and they won't fit everybody, but typically it should fit most people. And all you do is you come over here and you add an X for every half hour of the day. You need to basically hit every half hour, otherwise the math won't work out right. So like for me, I'm usually sleeping at 4 a.m. I get up at 6:30, and then 6:30 I'm doing personal stuff, taking showers, etc. I drive to work at about 7:30, and then I'm working. I basically think I have a mixed desk field job because I'm not at my desk all day. We do a lot of other stuff. So that's basically what I came up with. This little activity over here, this is where I play ping pong during lunch for a half hour, I eat for a half hour, and then we play ping pong after work. Not really an hour, but I went ahead and put an hour just for those days we do. Sometimes we do. I drive home, again, more personal stuff, cooking, things like that. And then basically I put, watching TV, doing the computer, eating dinner, things like that, basically to the time where I go to bed, okay? So basically that comes out to be 161. That number falls towards the bottom of active, but still inactive. And that's mainly because of the ping pong stuff. Now, the days I don't play ping pong, I only hit 136. And that is just light active. So why am I going to pick active for my personal choice? Well, because we do play ping pong most of the time, and there are other things we do at work, such as we do things where we have to load a lot of equipment in and out of vans and on carts and rolling places and set up AV gear and stuff like that. So on those days, I'm hitting 182, and that puts me at active, still active, but that puts me just 3 points away from very active. So I believe my time over the course of a week, a month, whatever, I feel like I'm gonna hit in this active area. You need to decide where you're gonna go based on where you put your X. You can just look at this and kind of understand it, but if you really want to plot your day and use this form, feel free to contact me. I'll send you the form. The sheet is real easy to use. Every half hour is represented by a row. Every row must have one X in it. indicating what you are doing for that half hour of the 24 hours in a day. This column is a check column. Basically, all it does is if you have an X here, it lets you know CK means it's been checked correctly, minus sign means you got something wrong. And basically, in this case, I have two X's on the same row. You can't do two things in 1/2 hour. That's not the way the form works. So basically just delete the offending X and you're good to go. Now let's say you were missing an X. It would be the same thing. You just got to check the row. Do you have two X's or not enough X's? And you put your X. Very simple. Just to give a comparison, I did a sedentary sheet for somebody that basically, you know, we'll start from when they go to bed. You know, they go to bed late, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., somewhere in there. They sleep to 10 a.m., 11 a.m. They wake up, they do computer stuff, TV stuff, eating. They don't really leave the house that much. Maybe they go out and run an errand, pick up some food, and come back. Their time is very relegated to the sedentary lifestyle. And even when you come down here, I actually added some extra numbers down here that this category sedentary tallies up right here. This light activity tallies up here. Active tallies up here. Very active tallies up here. So as you can see, this person, almost all their time is sedentary time. They have very little light active time. They have 0 active and 0 very active time. I want to discuss an office job because I know that's something that people have an issue with. They probably think they're sedentary jobs. But I think if you have an office job, you're probably going to have you know, a good amount of up and down in the day to, you know, pick up faxes, print out things, go talk to your boss, go talk to coworkers. You know, if you work at all, I think you should pick light active. If you don't work, it's just really going to depend on your activity level, and again, you can use something like this sheet to help you out. And just to knock this concept home a little bit about how you do this, don't count your exercise in this column. Even if you do it every day, don't count it in this column if it's considered exercise and you want to log it in MyFitnessPal, because that's going to throw everything off. You'll either double count it or you won't be counting it correctly. So only count things in here that, you know, these activities are like, you know, maybe your girlfriend wants to walk on the beach twice a week or something like that, you know. Maybe she likes to take walks and you don't want to count that as exercise, or maybe you just take walks and you don't really want to count that as exercise because it's just walking, and you really just want to count things that are more like when you are working out actively. That's what you want to count as exercise. Walks you don't want to count. You want to put them in here, throw that in here. Even though a walk may not require that much energy expenditure, as I got it here, these are, again, it's all ballparking. You know, for example, I count break time out and lunchtime out here. Well, what's the difference between break time in and lunchtime in? Well, basically, this is like if you sit at your desk and you're just walking over to the refrigerator in the break room, grabbing some food, and you're eating at your desk or in the break room. Same thing with break. Or you're just walking outside 20 feet to a stump and you're smoking a cigarette. These are like, you know, when we go on breaks, we walk 6 blocks away and 6 blocks back. It's not huge energy expenditure, but it's still a little something. In lunch, this is if you have to walk, you know, again, blocks away to go to lunch and blocks back. Now, if you're just walking to, say, a vehicle and getting in a vehicle, you might want to move these over to here and, you know, count those here. You can move these categories around anywhere you see fit, based on how you feel like you expend your energy to do these activities. So I hope this explains everything. Again, if you need this sheet, I will provide it to you. It's a very easy sheet to understand, but if you actually need help working it, just send me an email and I will help you with that too. And let's move on. For now, we're going to set this at sedentary. We're going to set exercise to 0, and we're going to set our goal to maintain current weight. I'm going to go over exercise and the goal in the next section. So with these settings, you'll be able to see your base calories a day. It's not your basal metabolic rate, because to see that you would have to do the math yourself. I did the math and mine came out to 2204. But then What MyFitnessPal shows you is your basal metabolic rate with the activity levels already multiplied in. The lowest you can go is sedentary, and that multiplies by 1.25. Lightly active multiplies by 1.35, active 1.45, and very active 1.55. That gives us our base calories before any weight loss is applied. That's if I'm to do nothing right now, if I'm just to keep eating 2770 calories, I'm not going to lose any weight, I'm not going to gain any weight. Okay, all right, I buy that. Let's move on. We're going to skip exercise for now because exercise becomes more of a bonus point system in this system. Okay, so the main reason we're here is to lose weight. Well, you can lose the recommended 1 pound a week. You can do a half pound, you can do 1.5, or you can do 2. This program boxes you in at times, and it's a little frustrating that it boxes you in. They have good reasons to box you in, and it makes sense. So I can't really argue with it, even though I personally like fully customizable things. So we're going to go ahead and pick 2 pounds a week, okay? So what was my number before? 2770? All right, let's update the profile. Now we're at 1070. Well, what is up with that? I got to lose 2 pounds a week, and I can only eat 1,770 calories? Yikes. I mean, for a fat guy, that's no calories. And where did it come up with 1,000? Well, let's think about the math here for a second. 1,000 calories doesn't really mean anything. But over the course of a week, 7,000 calories, well, that also really doesn't mean a lot. But if you were to divide that by 2, the 2 pounds I want to lose, you come up with 3,500. Well, 3,500 calories equals 1 pound of fat. So if you want to lose a pound of fat, you have to drop your calories by 3,500 a week. That's where you come up with the 1,000 over the week, because I want to drop 2 pounds a week. We're going to skip fitness for now, and we're going to talk about how we can adjust this number. Like, let's say we look at this number and this number just doesn't work for us. Maybe we've done this number for 6 weeks and we're losing too much weight. Well, what you do is you go back here. If you move this up to lightly active or active even, you're going to get more calories. So if you move it to lightly active, now you get 1990. That's up 220 calories. So maybe work 6 weeks on that, see how that works. If that doesn't work and you're still losing too much weight, you can go back and adjust this, go up to active. And now you get 2210, okay? So you got to kind of play with those numbers, and that's what those activity multipliers do, use them. Now let's go back and let's add some fitness components in here, just so we can see that. How many times a week do you plan on exercising? Well, let's say I'm going to exercise 4 times a week at 60 minutes of workout. Update my profile. Oh wait, this still says 210. That's what it said last time. I don't get it. Well, what is this? 2,560 calories a week. So do I get 366 extra calories I get to eat every day? No, that's not the way this system is set up. You don't want to do that either, because that's not the right way to do it. The system actually does it the right way. It does not give you your exercise calories until you've exercised. So you have to earn your exercise calories, which is great. That's the way it should be done. Now, that's not to say you can't eat more during the day you know you're going to exercise, but just keep in mind you're going to be negative on that day until you exercise. So basically what I do is, because maybe some people don't like to always work out at the same duration every time, like you don't always want to work out at 60 minutes. Maybe you want to work out 20 minutes, 40 minutes, and 60 minutes 6 times a week, you know, like 20, 40, 60, 20, 40, 60, like that. Well, okay, so that's going to be 6 times a week. So you're talking 40 minutes. So you put down that, and that tells you how many calories you get a week. Okay, those are earned calories. Now you can go way over that. If I was to work out, and let's go back, and I'm going to do this way. I'm going to go back to 60 minutes, and I'm going to do 5. If I'm to work out, like this gives us 3,200 calories. If I work out 60 minutes, I can tell you right now it's going to be a lot closer to 1,000 calories for that 60 minutes that I'm burning. So times 5, that would be 5,000 calories. Now this is just a goal. You can go way over this. That doesn't matter. It's just a goal. And you don't have to eat all these calories either. The more of these calories that you save, but you're still burning, the more you're adding to your 2 pounds a week. This stuff, if you were to work out 5 workouts, 60 minutes a workout, and you were to eat this 3,200 calories a week on top of this, you would still lose your 2 pounds a week, because this 2 pounds a week is irrespective of this area. Now, if you do 5 workouts at 60 minutes and you don't eat all of your 3,200 calories here, you're going to lose more than 2.0 pounds a week. You're going to lose 2.6, 2.8 pounds a week. Okay? And over the course of, the 5 weeks, you'll be more like 12, 13, 14 pounds lost as opposed to 10. So just know how all these numbers play together, okay? So for me, these are my numbers. I'm gonna work at this level for 6 weeks, see how I go. See how am I losing enough? Am I not losing enough? If I'm not, if I'm losing too much, I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna go up to very active. That's just gonna allow me to have more calories to eat. If I'm not losing enough, I'm gonna jump down to lightly active. If I hit a plateau or something, 4 months down the line, and I'm already at lightly active, then maybe I'll jump down to sedentary. Or maybe I'll increase my workouts to 6 days a week. There's tons of ways you can play in it. You can look at my, there's nothing here, but if you go here, and this was a bad day yesterday because this was, this was Easter day. I ate way too much on Easter, and my sister bought candy as an Easter present. If somebody's on a diet, don't get them candy. That's just wrong. So you can actually go to MyFitnessPal. There's a link on the YouTube that will take you to my diary here, and you can kind of go through my diary and see what I've been eating and the exercise I've been doing. So it's pretty cool, and it's free. So hopefully that helped everybody. Enjoy, and we'll see you next time.